Over the decades, countless beloved food traditions have faded from the American dining experience. These customs and meals weren't just about food, they were deeply intertwined with community life, convenience, and family moments. Here's a look at 20 food traditions that once brought Americans together and might make you long for the past. Number 1, TV dinners, 1950s to 1960s. TV dinners, introduced by Swanson in 1954, transformed the way American families ate. These pre-prepared meals, divided into sections on an aluminum tray, allowed people to enjoy a full dinner while watching TV, fitting perfectly into the growing TV-centric culture of the 1950s and 1960s. TV dinners offered convenience at a time when more women were entering the workforce, making them a quick and easy solution for busy households. Their popularity soared during this period, becoming a cultural icon of modern convenience. However, as food preferences shifted towards fresh and healthier options, TV dinners gradually lost their appeal. Number 2, soda fountains, 1940s to 1950s. Soda fountains were a vibrant part of American social life during the 1940s and 1950s, often found in drugstores and diners. These counters served a variety of fizzy drinks, milkshakes, and ice cream sodas, making them popular gathering spots for people of all ages. The soda jerk, a skilled attendant, mixed flavored syrups with carbonated water to create custom beverages on the spot. Soda fountains became community hubs where friends and families would meet to relax and enjoy treats. However, as fast food chains and self-service restaurants grew in popularity, soda fountains gradually disappeared, leaving a nostalgic memory of a slower, more social era. Number 3, Milkman Deliveries, 1950s. In the 1950s, Milkman Deliveries were an essential service in growing American suburbs. Every morning, fresh milk in iconic glass bottles was delivered directly to doorsteps, ensuring families had a steady supply of dairy. This service was particularly important before refrigerators became common in homes, as they couldn't store large amounts of perishable goods. Milkmen, who were often friendly and reliable, became familiar and trusted figures in their communities. However, with the rise of supermarkets and the spread of home refrigeration, daily milk deliveries became less necessary, and this once common tradition gradually faded away as modern conveniences took over. Number 4, Tupperware Parties. Tupperware parties, popular from the 1950s to the 1970s, revolutionized both social gatherings and direct sales. These home-based events, typically hosted by women, combine business with socializing, offering guests a chance to see Tupperware products in action. The durable, airtight containers were showcased for their ability to keep food fresh, making them highly appealing in an era of growing interest in kitchen innovation. By the 1970s, these parties had peaked, empowering women by providing a flexible business opportunity. Though Tupperware products are still sold today, the home party sales model that created a sense of community and fun has largely faded. Number 5, Victory Gardens, 1940s. Victory Gardens became a vital part of American life during World War II, as citizens were encouraged to grow their own food to support the war effort. Millions of these gardens were planted in backyards, parks, and public spaces across the country, producing nearly 40% of the nation's fresh vegetables at the war's peak. This initiative not only helped alleviate pressure on the food supply, but also fostered a strong sense of patriotism and self-reliance among Americans. After the war, as commercial agriculture rebounded and rationing ended, the need for Victory Gardens declined, and the practice gradually faded from daily life. Number 6, salad bars, 1970s to 1980s. Salad bars became a popular dining option in the 1970s, reflecting growing health consciousness in American society. The first self-service salad bar is attributed to R.J. Gruntz in Chicago, introduced in 1971. These salad bars allowed diners to build their own meals from a wide variety of fresh ingredients, appealing to those seeking healthier, customizable options. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, salad bars were a staple in both casual and upscale restaurants as they catered to changing dietary preferences. However, rising concerns about food safety and the costs of maintaining fresh ingredients contributed to their decline in the following decades. Number 7. Instant coffee, 1950s to 1970s. Instant coffee rose to prominence after World War II, reaching peak popularity in the 1950s through the 1970s. Made by adding hot water to freeze-dried coffee granules, it offered a quick and simple way to enjoy coffee without the need for brewing. This convenience made instant coffee a staple in homes and offices, perfectly matching the fast-paced lifestyle of post-war America. Its consistent flavor and ease of preparation made it a go-to option for many. However, as artisanal coffee culture and specialty brews gained popularity in the 21st century, the demand for instant coffee declined, making it less common today. Number 8. Baking contests, 1950s to 1960s. Baking contests were a central part of American county fairs and community events during the 1950s and 1960s. One of the most prestigious of these competitions was the Pillsbury Bake-Off, launched in 1949, which showcased the skills of home bakers across the country. Participants would compete with their best recipes, often featuring classic American desserts like apple pies, cakes, and breads. These contests celebrated the art of home baking and fostered a sense of community. However, as more people shifted towards convenience foods and home baking became less common, the popularity of baking contests gradually declined over the following decades. Number 9. Ice cream socials, 1950s. Ice cream socials were beloved community events in the 1950s, bringing people together to enjoy homemade ice cream. Typically organized by churches, schools, or neighborhood groups, these gatherings were more than just about the dessert. They were social occasions that often included games, music, and lively conversations. Held during the warm summer months, ice cream socials fostered a strong sense of community and connection among neighbors. Though this tradition has largely faded over time, replaced by modern entertainment and commercial ice cream availability, the nostalgia for these charming, sweet events remains strong, evoking memories of simpler, more communal times. Number 10. Automat Restaurants, 1950s. Automat restaurants, popular in the early 20th century and peaking in the 1950s, offered a unique, futuristic dining experience. Patrons could access freshly prepared meals from glass compartments by inserting coins, making the process both quick and efficient. Automats were especially popular in urban areas, where they catered to busy workers looking for an affordable and fast meal. The novelty of selecting food from coin-operated machines, combined with the quality of the offerings, made automats a cultural icon. However, as fast food chains expanded in the 1970s, offering even quicker service and more variety, the popularity of automats gradually declined. Number 11. Fondue Parties, 1960s to 1970s. Fondue parties, originating from Switzerland, became a cultural sensation in the U.S. during the 1960s and 1970s. These gatherings centered around a communal pot of melted cheese or chocolate, with guests dipping bread, fruits, vegetables, and sometimes meats into the warm mixture. The interactive and social nature of fondue made it a popular choice for dinner parties, fostering a sense of togetherness and fun. Fondue parties were especially popular for their relaxed yet sophisticated vibe. Though fondue remains a beloved dish today, the trend of hosting fondue parties has largely faded, replaced by other dining trends over time. Number 12. Drive-in theaters, 1950s to 1960s. Drive-in theaters, a hallmark of American culture in the 1950s and 1960s, offered a unique movie-watching experience where patrons could enjoy films from the comfort of their cars. These outdoor cinemas featured large screens in spacious parking lots and often included snack bars selling popcorn, sodas, and other classic American treats. Drive-ins became popular for family outings and date nights, allowing people to watch movies under the stars. However, their popularity began to decline in the 1970s with the rise of indoor multiplex cinemas and the advent of home video, leading to the gradual disappearance of drive-in theaters. Number 13, supper clubs, 1950s to 1960s. Supper clubs were a popular form of dining and entertainment from the 1930s to the 1960s, offering a complete night out with gourmet meals and live music or dancing. Typically located on the outskirts of towns, these establishments were known for their elegant ambiance, featuring soft lighting, live bands, and a formal atmosphere. Patrons would enjoy dinner, cocktails, and entertainment, making supper clubs a go-to destination for special occasions and social gatherings. However, as lifestyles evolved and more modern forms of entertainment, like nightclubs and multiplex theaters, gained popularity, the traditional supper club gradually faded from the American social scene. Number 14, pig pickin', Southern U.S. Pig pickin', a traditional Southern U.S. event, involves roasting a whole hog, often over an open fire or in a large barbecue pit. This communal gathering has deep roots in Southern culture, dating back to colonial times, and was especially popular in the mid-20th century. Pig pickin' events were typically large social occasions, bringing together families, friends, and neighbors to celebrate with food, music, and festivities. The roasted pig served as the centerpiece of the meal, with sides like coleslaw and cornbread. However, the tradition has become less common in recent years due to changing dietary habits and the challenges of hosting large-scale events. Number 15, Clam Bakes, Northeastern U.S. Clam bakes are a long-standing coastal tradition in the northeastern U.S., particularly in states like Massachusetts and Maine. These communal gatherings typically involve steaming clams along with other seafood like lobsters, plus potatoes, corn, and sometimes sausage. The food is traditionally cooked on the beach, layered over a bed of seaweed and hot stones, then covered to steam. Clam bakes were more than just meals. They were festive social events that brought families, friends, and communities together. While their origins date back to Native American cooking methods, clam bakes gained widespread popularity in the early 20th century and saw a resurgence in the 1960s and 1970s as a nostalgic summer activity. However, factors such as environmental regulations and the rising cost of seafood have made clam bakes less common in recent decades. Despite this, the tradition still holds a special place in coastal culture, particularly for special events or family reunions. Number 16, JellO molds, 1950s to 1970s. JellO molds were a defining feature of mid-20th century American cuisine, particularly during the 1950s through the 1970s. These colorful gelatin desserts were often prepared in decorative molds and filled with a variety of ingredients such as fruit, vegetables, marshmallows, or even meats like ham or chicken. The versatility of JellO, combined with its bright colors and ease of preparation, made it a favorite for family gatherings, potlucks, and holiday dinners. The height of JellO mold popularity came in the 1960s, when it became a symbol of domestic creativity and culinary fun. It was not only a dessert, but a conversation piece, often presented at formal dinners or casual social events. In 2001, Utah famously designated JellO as its official state snack, recognizing its deep cultural impact. While JellO remains available today, the elaborate gelatin molds have largely faded from modern kitchens, replaced by simpler, more contemporary desserts. Number 17, casserole dinners, 1950s to 1980s. Casserole dinners became a staple in American households from the 1950s through the 1980s, celebrated for their convenience, versatility, and ability to feed a crowd. These one-dish meals were particularly popular for family dinners, potlucks, and church gatherings. Classic dishes like tuna noodle casserole, made with canned tuna, cream of mushroom soup, and noodles, or green bean casserole, which combined green beans with fried onions and cream sauce, were both economical and easy to prepare. Casseroles gained popularity during a time when women were balancing work and family life, offering a quick, comforting meal with minimal preparation and cleanup. The simplicity of assembling ingredients and baking them together made casseroles a go-to choice for busy families. However, as cooking trends shifted toward fresher, more health-conscious meals, casseroles have declined in popularity. While still enjoyed today, they are less common on modern dinner tables than they were in their mid-20th century heyday. Number 18, cocktail parties, 1950s to 1960s. Cocktail parties were a hallmark of social life in the 1950s and 1960s, representing sophistication and style. These gatherings were often held in private homes or upscale venues, where guests dressed in formal cocktail attire and mingled over expertly crafted drinks and hors d'oeuvres. The focus was on elegant small bites like canapés and finger foods, paired with classic cocktails such as martinis, Manhattans, and old fashions. Cocktail parties often featured themed decor and music, creating a chic atmosphere that made these events stand out as more formal than casual get-togethers. They became a key platform for socializing and networking, offering both personal and professional interactions in a refined setting. Over time, however, the formality of cocktail parties began to fade as more casual forms of socializing emerged in the 1970s. While cocktail parties are still held today, they tend to be less formal than their mid-century predecessors. Number 19, potluck suppers, 1950s to 1960s. Potluck suppers were a staple of community and church events in the 1950s and 1960s, embodying the spirit of togetherness and cooperation. At these gatherings, each guest would bring a homemade dish to share, resulting in an abundant and diverse spread of food. Typical contributions included casseroles, salads, breads, and desserts, with family recipes often making an appearance. Potlucks provided a way for communities to come together in a relaxed setting, allowing people to share food, stories, and company. The communal nature of these events strengthened social bonds and fostered a sense of belonging. They were particularly popular in rural and suburban areas, where neighbors and church groups frequently hosted these informal meals. While potlucks remain a cherished tradition in some places, their popularity has diminished as modern lifestyles have become more fast-paced, with fewer people cooking at home and community gatherings occurring less frequently. Number 20, microwave meals, 1970s to 1980s. Microwave meals became a significant part of American households in the 1970s and 1980s, coinciding with the rise of the microwave oven as a kitchen essential. These meals offered unparalleled convenience, allowing families to prepare pre-packaged dinners in just a few minutes with minimal effort. Frozen dinners and ready-to-eat meals like TV dinners gained even more popularity during this time, making microwave meals a go-to solution for busy families, especially those with working parents. The microwave revolutionized food preparation, shifting meal making from traditional cooking methods to fast heat and eat options. It aligned with the fast-paced lifestyle of the late 20th century, where convenience and efficiency were highly valued. However, as health consciousness grew and consumers began prioritizing fresh, whole foods over processed meals, the role of microwave meals has diminished. While microwaves are still widely used for reheating and convenience, pre-packaged microwave dinners are less prevalent in modern, health-focused kitchens.